Right guys, I'm in quite familiar territory. Shall show you in a sec. But 4 years ago, me and a few others occupied a bit of land opposite the Bic in Bournemouth to raise awareness about the homeless problem.
Look what they're doing.
Stop! There's a man up there. What is the matter?
They don't give a shit. They're fucked. They are breaking so many laws here. It's unbelievable. So you're basically going on side of the Syrians because they've got money. Over people's health, over people's safety. Over people's safety. Right, I just want to witness this. We've told the officers over here that they are dismantling their place where someone is on top of the roof. And they don't give a shit. Right. Just so you're aware that they're doing this with...
Sadly, nothing much has changed in 4 years. If anything, it's probably got worse. Some of the guys that were involved in that, so close to their heart, are still involved in it now. They're still involved with, i.e. helping out guys that are in need, the guys that are on the streets. And to raise awareness about this problem and the fact that this problem has not gone away. If anything, it's got worse. We now don't have a night shelter in Bournemouth somewhere. So unless the temperature goes below zero, there is nowhere in Bournemouth where they can go, just turn up and get some shelter for the night. It's absolutely disgusting. Right, I'm here with some of the guys from Heart and Soul who are doing a sponsored sleep out on the grounds of the Bournemouth Town Hall. Just wanted to ask you guys, I mean, what were the main reasons that you were sort of doing this for?
To highlight the plight of the homelessness in Bournemouth and the true reality of them being treated like lesser people. These are someone's brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, mums, dads.
And the lack of support that is in the area.
The way that they've been treated through the COVID pandemic is less than human, at best put into hotel rooms and B&Bs with no cooking facilities, no means of getting food, accessing food. The poor people couldn't even go out and shoplift food because most of the shops were shut. And cleanliness too. No washing facilities to clean the clothes.
I mean, this is the thing as well. I mean, if you're going to say there's a pandemic going on, I mean, surely one of the worst things to do would group all these people that are up on the streets who were out in the fresh air and originally, and put them all into the same hotel. I mean, a couple of guys I spoke to on the street have said similar things to me. Have said, like, why are we going to go into a hotel where we're all cooped up when we're outside at the moment in the fresh air? I mean, I'm right in thinking as well, there's no night shelter at the moment as well.
No, they turned it into a hostel.
Yeah, but there was a night shelter in Bournemouth up at St Stephen's on Oxford Road, and for some reason Bournemouth Church Housing have acquired the site, and now it's no longer a night shelter. It's an overpriced supported housing unit.
As well as the day centre has now been closed down
and
as well.
The day centre, what was accessible for anyone and everybody, was also removed at the same time.
This is why the majority of guys are in Bournemouth during the day, because at the end of the day they've got nowhere to go.
There is nowhere to hang out. The doorway.
And whenever they sit down, they get moved on. Through Christmas, I've been told by multiple amount of people, as soon as they sit down, they either get given a dispersal order, or they'll get given an ASBO, just for sitting down. I don't see the problem with people sitting down at the end of the day. Aggressive begging, fair enough. At the end of the day, nobody wants to be like someone in your face, like going off on one. But at the end of the day, just sitting down there, if someone wants to give you that bit of change or give you a bit of food, what's the problem with it? They're not hurting anybody.
Totally agree.
They've absolutely got nobody. This is why we do what we do.
Why does this council think it can treat homeless people less than human? This is my question. Why are they employing St Mungo's to do the outreach, and they're failing miserably?
When they don't even answer the phone.
St Mungo's have been here today and tried to put the case, but what I'm hearing off the people on the street, people that I know and I've trusted and I've known for a long time, they're telling me that St Mungo's are taking 2 and 3 weeks. That's after you get to actually leave a phone message or something.
Even a 71-year-old guy.
And to be fair, there was an older gentleman in town sleeping in a shop doorway. I asked St Mungo's to verify him street homeless so we could get him on the rent deposit scheme and get him a house. They point blank done nothing. And when I confronted St Mungo's about this, they stood there and hid behind data protection. I didn't mention any names, they knew exactly who I was going on about. I think it's just to be... Animals get treated better than this. They have to wait until it drops below 0 for 3 consecutive days to activate sweep. In this country, it's against the law to leave your dog outside in a backyard at 5 degrees, but we'll happily put humans out in sub-degrees.
No, I totally agree. And I've done a little bit of digging on St Mungo's, and they receive. I mean, this was 3 years ago, and they received £93 million in rent. And you just think, well, where is that actually going?
Well, it's not going out to the guys they're supposed to be supporting.
Unless St Mungo's can make money out of the guys on the street, they don't want to know.
Well,
there lies a problem, doesn't it? It's a business under the guise of a charity, and if you keep the numbers high, you can keep your prices high. It's supply and demand, isn't it? And if you've got £93 million in the bank, you should be spending that on buildings. You're a charity. You should be spending it on buildings. You should be providing more accommodation, not just in central London, but right across the country. This is worse than the pandemic. This is happening to your families all over this country, and they are being ignored. And then you've got BCP Council, who are stood there asking homeless people and anyone registering as homeless, do you have a local connection?
Oh, you told me this earlier.
The Homeless Reduction Bill absolutely bans that question being asked. The Homeless Reduction Bill is there to make the authorities act in everyone's interest, so no one is overlooked, no one is bypassed. And yet this council, I see on Facebook quite a lot, and I respond with the correct information, are telling people who are facing evictions, families with children, to stay put until the bailiffs come, adding another £2,000 of debt to their misery, ruining the credit rating, making other landlords and referencing agencies dubious about rehousing them. It's an absolute travesty. BCP Council should hang their heads in shame.
So here I've got one of the guys here who's been living on the streets in Bournemouth. You stayed for 30 years, didn't you?
About 30 years, yes.
Yep. And I just want to give everyone sort of an idea of what the council are actually doing. So you had your stuff taken off you this morning?
Yeah, I've had a tent up down Westcliff for about 3 weeks, say. Now, went off this morning as usual, and then I see my mate with his dog, because he used to have one literally next to mine, a little tent, so him and his dog there. And then we went back there this afternoon, and it was gone. The whole lot gone. The stuff I got off of, like,
was it a tent, wasn't it? And
yeah, I've got my tent. I've had like my block bed, the stuff I've got off of like all the like soup kitchens and all that, which have done me really, really good. If it weren't for them, like, I don't know what I'd do, you know, to be honest.
Should be the council doing it, shouldn't it? Really?
Yeah, the council, they should have like stuck something on my door saying you got 48 hours or something. But you know what?
So where was it? Where was it? They actually took the stuff from? It was on
Westcliff.
So it was. So
It was out of the way. What it was is, I spoke to one of them, and I thought it was them just messing about. But he turned around and said, "We've had a complaint." So, but the thing is, right? Yeah, I never used all my rubbish, everything to do with rubbish used to go into the bin straight away. As soon as I left the site, I used to put all my stuff in the bin and put it in one of the bins down by Westcliff. But it was just, I don't know, they just took everything off me and they left me with nothing, literally nothing.
It's just, I mean, yours isn't. I wouldn't obviously highlight your story, but I mean, I've heard you hear this every single. You probably hear this every day from your friends, don't you? And it's just like, what? I mean, you can't get help from night shelter. You go on the streets and they take all your stuff if you're away from.
Yeah, I know. And then like they turn around and say to you, right, if you're there at a certain time, we'll be there, and just verify if you're rough sleeping. Well, isn't our word good enough to someone saying, listen, we're rough sleeping, can you help us? You don't have to come out and like verify that we're like homeless, because we're telling you we're homeless.
And then you have to, and don't they ask the question? You have to have some local connection as well.
Yeah,
Or something.
yeah.
I mean,
well,
if you're on the streets, would it not suggest that you probably haven't got that much help? Or
Exactly. Well, I went from Weymouth to Bournemouth, and they said we'll try and get you somewhere up in Bournemouth. So like I got all my universal credit, all my scripts and everything else, all moved up to here, yeah. And then they're telling me I can't get anywhere because I haven't got a local connection. I've got to have some mungos out to tell me that I'm rough sleeping. Well, why isn't my word good enough? Listen, excuse me, sir, I'm rough sleeping. Can you help me, please? No, they've got to come out. And then you get things like this, like the council coming down and taking all our stuff, all our tents, everything. So how do you think that? I bet they sleep well in night time. You know, taking homeless people's stuff.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
You know what I mean? They're all right. They go back. They can go and they get into their bed. What am I going to do? I'm sleeping on the street, freezing cold.
yeah, and it is fucking freezing tonight.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So come on. The council needs to buck up their ideas, otherwise, like, you know what, there's going to be uproar one day.
Totally agree.
Swear to God.